cool. And let's just get into the intros, I guess. On the rightmost side of the map, it's going to be the pink Protoss player, Dead Pixels Patience.
In the middle left, as the blue Zerg, it's TCM Soulkey.
So there is an Easter egg on this map. I guess I can't see it as an observer. But if you guys ever play this map, scan up here. You'll find something funny waiting for you. Which is actually weird because I tested this map this morning to make sure it was on Korea this time with 2 AIs and I could see the Easter egg. So I don't know why.
It's funny. It's different with like custom games. I found I thought custom games all around had the surrender button, for instance, but I was like making my students play on Wednesday and they only had the quit button.
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what they've changed, so I don't know. Anyways.
A couple things about the map real fast, because some of you guys did not see this when Mana and Bunny played it out in that show match recently, but it's got a kind of cool main. There's a couple spots where Reapers or Blink Stalkers can get up there. Your natural base is pretty covered. It eventually can be opened up from the backside, but this backside is actually a long way around the map, so there's no rushing this, so you're not going to take advantage of it anytime soon. The front of your base is pretty standard. I thought that this was high ground vision here, but evidently it's not. It would be cool if it was. But your thirds, your fourths, they're all labeled out in the direction that the map maker wants you to expand, but of course we may see players do it in a different fashion. And the most interesting base to me, of course, is going to be the northern base, as it's both a gold and a normal base. Really high income here.
Very interesting. So, despite it being a new map, Soulkey kind of goes like super bold with it anyways, and goes for a triple hatch before pool. Usually if you don't know a map or don't know your opponent, this is a damn risky build, but he was just like, YOLO. Because they know what that means.
Well, I'm feeling a bit of that Korea lag, unfortunately, and it's getting really irritating because it's getting worse and worse every day, it feels, but thank you to Kisu. Oh, Kisu. Thank you, Kisu, for the 213 sub. Anyways, yeah, just a quick comment on that. You talk about the I guess maybe he looks at this and the first thing he eyeballs is this layout because it expands away from Patience. It's kind of okay to go for as fast of a third as you'd like. If this was a map like Lirlac where you had to really pick and choose which third you take, maybe it's different. But I feel like with 2 bases and this setup with the layout that it is, it's not so bad. The other cool thing too is while there's a gold base here, you can't really lift off to it as Terran either because it's exposed, which is the #1 problem for any gold base lifts, but also the SCVs have to walk really far away around the map to get there.
Okay, so it looks like the map maker kind of had this idea similar to Arena, but like better played out, where the more direct path is through a kind of a choke to your opponent's base. But if you go around further to where the Zelnaga is, then it's obviously a lot wider. That's kind of cool. And this is the most direct path to Soulkey's natural, actually. Yeah, his third is technically tucked back in the corner, even though it doesn't really look like it.
It's weird seeing the texture of the map be all frosty. I mean, I guess for you, this is your first time seeing it, but I got to see a bunch of lava and gold shininess, and the map just looks so different now, and I don't have complaints. It actually looks fine with the frosty look. Kind of like an abandoned planet or something.
I can see why they thought it was shiny though, because it still might be too shiny on the bases.
Oh, some things, yeah, like this thing's glowing like a friggin' light bulb. I don't know.
Yeah, it is kind of distracting when I look at the bases. Like I don't want to look at it. Like Dash and Terminal.
No, it's not that bad. That's dangerous to even call it anything close to that. We do have double Tempest, though, coming out of Patience. This is going to be kind of interesting. I guess I didn't really see the Fleet Beacon in the production tab. This makes a little bit of sense with the air layout the way it is. You know, I guess his idea is that he's going to sit here, right, where there's no Hydras or anything that can reach him. But at the same time, this might not be the best option. I mean, Patience is going to be fighting against Soulkey's going Hydras. Cool. But it's also not hard to throw down a bunch of Corruptors.
Right. Yeah. Getting a Spire is something that you want to get eventually anyways against Tempest, because, you know, Hives will only get you so far. Getting a Hive for Vipers, or, Vipers also. Something you're supposed to get. What?
What do you think about Patience taking his 4th as a 3rd? I mean, it's fine because you don't have to follow the layout, but this is way more exposed than if he... Because he's already got this ramp walled off to defend this one.
I don't think he realized the problems with taking that as a 3rd.
Maybe. Yeah, new map hype.
Like, I don't think he realizes there's another entrance in the bottom.
there is a Baneling Nest finished up.
Right.
Didn't realize that either, and Baneling Speed Nail on the way. This Nexus is most likely going to go for... Not down, I guess the Ling's going to change his focus.
Yeah, no pylons near it. He was going to go for the wall off, but again, there's a second wide open path, so it wouldn't have been a wall off.
Nexus is going to get low. I'm not sure if it'll actually go down. It's getting close. Looks like it will die, though. But
That's
the
pretty
Tempest
bad.
start the siege on the other side of the map, so looking for a bit of payback. Keep in mind, until that Spire is done, there's actually no way to reach these Tempests. But the Spore Crawlers are going to buy tons of time.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice from Patience. It is him trying to play it to a new map that he doesn't recognize, but like kind of recognizing it's almost like half-day sensation. You know, you kind of expand towards your opponent when you take your natural, if you were to take the gold on half-day sensation, and then you went for Tempests. It's like an old school build, but it would work in the same way here with this wide open dead space in the middle of the map. But if you lose the natural, then it's not so bad, as Soulkey is already going on to his 4th.
Yeah, he's already transferred all the drones over there anyway, so it's not so bad. Can't get too deep here, though. Patience doesn't have to worry about those Hydralisks. One of the nice things about Tempest, though, is they do have the health pool to survive parasitic bombs. So this isn't going to be... Well, like, while Hive Tech finishes up soon, it's actually have ducks that are a lot more dangerous in this situation.
Yeah. So yeah, Hive Tech is almost finished, so Vipers will be able to start consuming. The Baneling Nest, unfortunately, is useless, even though...
Well, I was really curious on
speed.
Oh no, Patience, what are you doing, man? You get too greedy for that hatchery.
I wasn't paying attention.
I was curious about the Baneling Nest because we saw Soulkey do specifically Bane Rain, and I thought that may have been on his mind, because, you know, if he had picked up over here and floated over to this natural base, he could have Bane Rain pretty easily.
I don't know, that's probably what he was thinking, but, you know, you don't... If it was only for harassment, you technically don't really need typical hooks. Well, now anyways, it's a completely useless upgrade, as the Tempest would be covering your Overlords. I don't think we're gonna see Banelings in this matchup, although it might be, you know, maybe harassment, you know, morphing some in the very back. Once Soulkey realizes that you can break down the back rocks, he might send some Lings over there to break his own and then break Patience's. Vipers are on their way out, but nothing from the Spire quite yet, which is done.
I like that Soulkey continues to just expand through this. And, well, okay, you look at this and you gotta be screaming, Imba, Imba, Imba. You know, this map must be the cause. It's actually not. There's a lot of maps you can take advantage of dead space like this. A lot of this has to do with the fact that just Soulkey wasn't prepared for air. So it was a lot later to get that Spire. The Hydras obviously are not cutting it as effectively. And prioritizing the... Ooh, nice shot on the Viper. Make sure no ducks go off.
Yeah. Bit of an expensive unit. Soulkey already on going to his 5th base, though. That's interesting.
Oh.
As he,
Weird texture bug with the pylons.
Oh, yeah. Well, as he continues to expand, he will have to, you know, think about the north side of the map, which so far it doesn't really look like they're thinking about. They're focusing, of course, on the southern half and, well, the middle half because of the Tempests. Some Banelings are being made on the bottom, and then they go around anyways.
No,
Wait.
he just missed
Okay, there we
things
go.
and roll those into the mineral line. Is really nothing to stop them either. So this could be some pretty good hits for Soulkey. Let's hope the lag doesn't kick in. For me, the player's course not affected by it. Does get some decent hits on the probe line, but only 6.
We're crashing some of those depths too, though.
Oh, he's gotta be careful. With those rocks torn down, the Hydras could technically just walk underneath this army. Tempest getting a little bit out of position.
These Tempests are playing a little bit dangerous here. The ground army is also starting to bulk up for Patience, who is starting to get their upgrades. Corruptor's finally on the way for Soulkey.
Yeah, Voiders were made in anticipation of this, but because he didn't see any and he saw the Vipers, he stopped, which is unfortunate because he is actually going to need more Void Rays. Meanwhile, back at home, the Adepts are hoping to be the force to deal with the Hydras, I guess. I mean, they are going to deal bonus damage versus them, and Patience does not have Resonating Glaives, unfortunately.
Yeah, if they are going to be what helps deal with the Hydras, they're going to need that upgrade.
Oh. I just checked the income graph, by the way. I can't believe how badly Soulkey is winning the income war this game. Oh my god. Despite having his base under siege.
Yeah, well, it really hurt that Patience lost his 3rd so quickly. Now going to a 4th, and this 4th is pretty safe. There are, again, back
here for the Tempest, though. 2 Abducts do pick off 2 of them, but they can't really keep advancing forward like this. It's really dangerous. The Hydra's so close.
Oh, the Adept's gonna actually send themselves into the Hydras. Yeah, I definitely prefer that cancel. Is once again they do not have all of their upgrades. They don't have their glaive upgrade. They don't really have any upgrades, you know, other than +1. Not too strong of units here, so waiting for that would be better. Adding some disruptors in really wouldn't be that bad of an idea. It is hard to control them as you get to that maxed out army along with everything else, but there have been quite a few opportunities to have like a good choked in Zerg, and that disruptor shot could have killed a lot of Hydras.
I do like the banelings for this. As funny as that is, they will help deal with the Adepts a lot more effectively than the Hydras will, and the Adepts are a huge threat here. I mean, the Tempest versus the Corruptors is a funny dynamic, whatever. Oh, they're actually going to Caustic Spray the Nexus. Just trying to bait out a fight more than anything else, I feel, because that Nexus is, well, it goes down. Not that important of a base, as Patience did take another one back here. So, a bit of a dedication. Could have been much more death on the Corruptor side of things. Still might be. Tempest getting the shots off. Bailey's going to force these Adepts to try and split. Patience saying, I'm not tearing. I don't know how to do this.
I wasn't prepared for this. There we finally see the Resonating Glaives, as well as +2. More Voiders on the way to really take care of those Corruptors, but I still think that if Patience had the money, and he's placing his natural down again, that going for even more tech beyond this, such as Archons and Storm, would eventually get him this like perfect army, especially if he could ever take a fight in some of these chokes.
The Adepts have to transfer and actually catch the Hydras that eat a Bailing to the face on that transfer as well, but with the Hydras going down, the Void Rays suddenly have a little bit more leeway. The Corruptors were, of course, not the biggest threat here, but most of the Hydras on the ground. And for Soulkey's sake, this is an expensive remax. Despite having all these bases on the map, I don't know that he's got a lot of money to play with still.
Doesn't look like it. His army tries to get the Tempest, and they do, but the Vipers, there they are. They abduct. They end up for a parasitic bomb.
Starting to stack up for a recall by the looks of it, yeah.
Oh, the two Voiders are late. They're like, oh no.
We're late to the party. What's going on? I don't know. Let's get out of here.
Run away.
What's the deal with that?
Looks like they'll be saved. Saved?
Ruined.
Ruined?
Ruined!
Saved?
Saved. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. As those two Void Rays kind of act as a way to bait out this actual fight. And let's not forget, guys, it's... Well, both army supplies are low. It's Soulkey who's kind of struggling to deal with this because of that absurd range on the Tempest.
Yeah. But Patience did take quite a bit of being on his army that time. Lurkers are now being made to help deal with the Adepts, I'm thinking. The ground army. Can't help versus there.
If nothing else, it's also a lot of range. Not exactly as much range as the Tempest, of course, but it will help keep the army back.
Especially with this choke once again.
Oh, Parasitic Bombs instead of Abducts this time, but then he abducts the Parasitic Bomb Tempest.
Wait.
So what's kind of interesting is Parasitic Bomb has a lot of damage, but it's not enough to obliterate big, massive units like a Tempest. However, I do think 2 or 3 of them could act like an EMP and remove all the shields relatively easy. Looks like Lurkers, by the way, weren't used for the fight. They were used for harass. Kill a couple of probes, start sieging up this base.
Very clever. Soulkey did get a base to the top left, and I think that's going to go basically unseen and unharassed. Patience really hasn't sent any units up there. Entirely focused on pushing this base here. And it's starting not to work. He was getting some traction.
Yeah.
And then those Void Rays, got out of position, and it just seemed to have gone down from there. After the game's over, Soulkey's also having a tough time rebuilding his own army.
Yeah, I mean, the supplies have been bouncing between 100 and 130 for both players for the last 5 minutes of the game. And the problem for Patience is because he's gone for these expensive units, they're not easily replaced, whereas Soulkey can easily replace most of the units he's been losing, like those Hydras, like the Lings, like the Banelings. So this is a very awkward situation for Patience because, yeah, he doesn't have anything on the ground, loses those big units. Looks like there's some Lurkers on that 4th too while this game ends. GG gets called, and Soulkey will take the game. It is, of course,